Alright, take a look at these Warhammer 2 maps and see what you notice. Pay special attention to the trees specifically. I'll give you a few seconds. So you probably notice a wide variety of different kinds of forests and trees around a map. Some maps are half forest, some maps have trees around the edges, some have different shapes of sections of trees throughout the map. Okay, that's Warhammer 2. Now let's take a look at some Warhammer 3 maps and see what we notice about the trees. I'll give you a second. Well, you probably noticed, as it is painfully obvious, that Warhammer 3 maps seem to have what we can only describe as tree acne. The maps are plagued with spots all over their face. Now, this is only 5 maps that you're looking at, and maybe you think that I'm exaggerating and I've just cherry-picked the maps that make this look the worst. Well, here's 10 more Warhammer 3 maps, and as you can see, tree acne, which seems like the perfect analogy for these maps as they are teenage maps. They were never fully developed and fully finished off, it seems. The trees were just plonked on there in a hurry. At least that's how it feels. And if you still don't believe me, go ahead and scroll through the land battle maps for yourself and you will see no real solid forests, only tree acne. Hell, this Blasted Lands map even shows that there are pretty much no trees on this map. Yet, when we get in there, it's a bit of a different story, because there are trees right in the fucking middle of the map, god damn it. But okay, that's just a bug with the map preview, no big deal, but what is a big deal is these trees, these little circles of trees that have been plonked in the middle of a lot of maps. Personally, I kind of find that this ruins a lot of land battle maps, because when you have two sides that are facing each other, you usually would like a nice big space to fight in. Both forces will charge forward into each other, and as we know, fighting in trees is not really the most fun thing to do in Total War battles, but we're forced to do it on a lot of these maps because the trees are right in the middle of the map. And it's not that I don't want any trees on the map, just move them out to the side a little bit, put them over here, and we can have a nice big space to have a battle in, and then the trees can kind of be used for tactical vanguard deployment and whatever else. And it's not that maps with trees in the middle all need to go away, they obviously provide a tactical challenge that you'll want to face every now and again, so it's good to have some of these maps with trees in the middle kind of messing you up and messing with your ideas of formations and missiles and various other things, also hiding units in vanguard deployment. It's good to have that challenge on some maps. But it just feels like it's the case on most of the maps, or at least a lot of them, and where some maps would be nice to play on. I mean, if you look at this beautiful Wood Elf map, visually absolutely stunning, looks fantastic, but there's a big old clump of trees right in the middle of it where the two armies are going to fight, and who the hell wants to fight in this? I mean, it looks very nice, don't get me wrong. I want to have a picnic in here. I want to make love to your mum in here. But even without the leaves on, it's still pretty horrible to fight in these kind of forests. So this big clump of trees is kind of ruining this map. It's just nice when it's optional to fight in the trees. If you remove this big clump of trees from this map, you've got a damn good map here. You've got a few spots of trees around to still be tactical. You can vanguard deploy some units, have them attack the enemy. You can wait for the enemy to come to you, hide some units in those trees, have them spring out and surprise. You could vanguard deploy units here as this side and then try to flank them around to get the enemy. So there's plenty of ways for trees to be fun and tactical and well placed. It's not that trees should be gone from the maps at all, but it's just that so many maps shouldn't have trees smack bang in the middle of them, kind of ruining the map. It just looks kind of silly and unnatural, I think is probably the right word. You don't normally see little clumps of trees, like who's planting these? Who decided to put them all in little circles all over the place? And I think this is more of a bug, so to speak, than a feature. It feels like somebody just ran out of time with map design and wasn't able to really put the time into thinking about where trees should go to make a map more fun and tactical and things like that. But who knows, maybe it was by design. Were people really complaining about having too many trees around or having large chunks of forests on maps? I've never heard that complaint personally. I don't really have that complaint myself. As I say, the Warhammer 2 maps are great. The Warhammer 1 maps as well. I think the only complaint you can really make about trees is that they can be a bit horrible to fight in, so you don't really want to be forced into it on a map. And the maps that are really covered in trees, I don't think anybody really likes to play. But alas, I think this is just another thing that CA has kind of run out of time on. Obviously, I'm sure we all know about the wonky release date of the game, so it's just another thing to add to the list that needs to be fixed. But I make this video not out of hatred for the game. I love this damn game and I want it to be the best it can be. So I'm trying to bring attention to something that I think will probably fly under a lot of people's radar and they won't notice, especially with all the other more pressing problems in the forefront. And as this is the final installment in the Total War Warhammer series, I personally don't want to be stuck with all these tree acne maps for the remainder of its life. So I make this in the hope that CA will see it and eventually do something about it in the coming updates. If you all agree, of course. Maybe this is just a problem that bothers me. Let me know how you feel about it. Maybe I should just shut my face and love these spotty trees. But either way, it just seems like there's a lot of okay maps that could turn into good or great maps with some better tree placement and less tree acne. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the future.